paladin, a fighter, a rogue, a rogue.
A rogue.
What exactly are you going to do? Are you going to go for Temple's Gate, or are you going to just look around, explore again, or...
I hear we can make some money trying to sell this helmet in Temple's Gate. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
Or is there somewhere else you wanted to check out?
I have nothing going on for me right now.
Well, then I guess we'll head west towards Temple's Gate.
Right. Temple's Gate is a 7-day trip.
Let's make sure we have the...
At a good pace. Like, if you're just walking, it's going to be longer.
Let's make sure we have the supplies for the horses and ourselves for a 7-day trip.
Yes. But of course.
You go to the stables, then. It's fairly easy to requisition the needed supplies.
We might need to get 14 because the other town might not provide for us.
Right.
And here, at least here, we can get the horse feed for free.
All right.
It's called grass, man. They can survive.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
Fine.
I mean, if you want to do that, go for it. But they are horses. They eat grass.
It's true. She's got you. Her superior knowledge of horses once again shines through.
7 days.
You mainly get the other stuff if you want them to keep on weight, or if you're trying to do something in particular and help keep their diet going, but they can survive their entire lifetime on grass.
Yeah.
Grass. But yeah. Just so you know.
No. I can't sing Dragon Tales. You can't do that.
Mine's not as long as Dragon Tales.
It does matter, but... Yeah. Turned against me. But, alright. As you begin your trip out of town and stuff, let's see. Oh, it's right there. It was clear I couldn't see it. So my eyes aren't that good. Okay, day number 1.
Which will take us to the tree line. Unless it's not...
Well, it's a different way.
Yeah, that's right. Unless it's...
Day 1, you don't even get that far out of the place where you live before you come across something.
What do we see?
A man sprawled out on the road, dressed in rags. You can see he is still clearly breathing.
Is there anything else nearby? Are we on a path? Or
Yeah, you're on a path right now. As far as you can see, there's not really anything else nearby.
I will get off my horse and go up to him. And I can tell he's a lot... check his condition.
Oh, he looks like he's been horribly beaten. Bruised and bloody everywhere. His clothes looked to have been torn, or if they always looked like this, there's no way for you to know. But there is caked on blood. He looks unnaturally thin. His skin's a gaunt gray color.
Is he
I'm gonna look to the tree lines and keep an eye on everything that's going on around.
Is he conscious?
Yes. Barely, but he is conscious.
Alright, do lay on hands for 1 point. In case he was, like, severely damaged, maybe I'll keep him stabilized.
Okay,
And, I speak to him about what happened to you.
What languages do you know again?
Common and Elven.
He begins to speak. You do not understand what he said.
Does it like... Maybe it sounds familiar like Dwarven or Orc.
No. You can make out some words that he's saying.
Sweet. What's homeboy kind of sort of saying?
Help, so cold. They're coming again for me. Skin.
What is he again?
From what Jacob did, I mean, you don't really know. Like, he's mostly covered up. And
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
From what you could see, like, he's a gray color. He's really thin and he's gone. So.
And what did he say?
Help, so cold. They're coming for me. My skin.
He says he's cold.
I get a blanket out and try and warm him up. Blech.
Ba-ba-ba.
Warm him up.
Ba-ba-ba.
Are you just laying the blanket on him? Or are you like, how are you doing it? Like,
Put him in the fetal position. Maybe he's in shock. And
as you move his body, like, to put him in the position, you can hear him basically give a muffled kind of cry of pain.
Yeah, he's moving some brain.
Don't
listen
move
check.
if he starts making like,
Well, I mean,
painful
like,
noises-
your initial move, like, you've already started to at least initially move him, so still do the listen check. You can too, because of your
19.
Six.
10. Alright, you just barely make it. You both hear a loud crack as you're moving him. I mean, he's still alive. He's still alive. It's just, there's a reason why he's whimpering in pain. Like, he has broken bones, and he had near broken bones. Now he has another broken bone. So it's...
We're gonna need to make a stretcher so we can carry him back.
I want to start poking him some more.
You okay? Poke him in the ribs and stuff.
Why would I poke him?
Tell me what.
Are you out of heals things?
No, I can heal him from more. Oh, you mean that kind of... I thought you meant like poke him with a stick.
That's what I thought you meant.
Yes. Both the injured man.
Lay on
With
hands
the
for
stick.
8 points. Lay on hands for 8 points.
I would hope so. You're the one who hurt him. I mean,
He seems to...
monster.
His breathing kind of evens out a bit and stuff. I mean, he still looks beat the shit up, but like, it looks like he's... At least his body's relaxing. It's not as tense or anything anymore. It's...
Yeah, let's get him nice and relaxed so make his passing more easy. I mean...
As you do that, his eyes start to open to look at you now, like they're actually opening. Before they were kind of barely open, they were lidded and everything. Now they're fully opening, and the entirety of his eye is yellow. He gazes up at you.
You have jaundice?
It's a liver family, man.
Another thing that you can notice about his eye is slitted.
It's slit?
It's slitted irises.
Oh. How far away from you are you?
Is he speaking that?
That's the thing that's allowing you to understand some of what he's saying.
Okay. That's what I
That's
was
not
thinking.
what he is speaking.
Okay.
Does he have like scaly skin?
Check.
How covered is his face?
Oh, it's mostly covered. Like
Very.
it's. Like for the most part, you were just seeing his eyes and stuff. You can see, like when he was shifted around, it kind of loosened up a bit. But I mean, it's out of everything that you'd be able to see of him in terms of bearskin is his hands, his feet, the general area around his eyes, and there's a hole in the side of his clothes and stuff where you can see a little bit of his side.
The hole in the side of the clothes, is that like an injury?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a hole, can I see his skin?
Like you can see some of his skin if now that you're actually looking and stuff for it to see his skin. But like before, it would have been you were more preoccupied with the wound. Now you're actually taking time to look at the skin and stuff. Yes, you can see a little bit. Yes, it's scaly. So.
The only thing you told me was that he was cold.
Which would make sense if he's a reptile of some sort.
So, with knowledge of reptiles, I need to get him to the sunlight. Cold-blooded.
No, probably should get him out of this situation and somewhere else would be first thing.
Need to make a makeshift,
Gurney.
yes, gurney. I'll use the blanket I have to carry him on, so...
When you go to, it's fairly simple for you to make a gurney. I mean, you would have basic knowledge of field dressing and stuff like that, and that would include making makeshift gurneys and stretchers and stuff. If need comes to job, you make it, and then how are you going to get him on the gurney? Are you going to roll him on? Or are you going to pick him up?
I'm going to ask her to help me lift him up onto it.
How big is he?
In terms of like height, or in terms of like
Weight.
how he body looks. Oh, he's incredibly thin right now. Like
Okay.
he would be.
I'm gonna put
He's
on
heavier
gloves.
than the goblins, but he'd be much lighter than both of you. So.
I'm gonna put on gloves and I'll help.
You know, my armor comes with gauntlets, so I'd already be wearing those.
So
Good for you, man.
as you go to pick him up, you notice now fully like how incredibly light he is. Like he's not even remotely a problem for you. Both of you feel that if the other one wasn't there, you could still easily hoist him up and throw him over your shoulder and not be affected too much.
I'm gonna give him a small ration. Very small ration. Like meat ration.
You can see like he tentatively, like he's opening up his mouth to kind of take in the ration. And you can see now his teeth, like his teeth are curved back and stuff and are sharp, so.
Word.
And you can see like he's clearly like he's just swallowing the ration, like he's not chewing it.
Yeah, but I'm not giving him a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying like he's
I-
clearly like, even if it was a little, most would still chew on a little bit, he's swallowing it down, so.
I think I might know what he is now. Maybe. Might be what party is. It is also one of the races you can tend to like more, so.
Yeah.
Could be. Maybe.
You're probably right. If
Is he a lizard folk?
No,
he was
man.
not a
Nah.
lizard. Oh, no. You wouldn't be having this easy a job lifting him up if he was a lizard folk. He'd be dead array if he was a lizard folk and you were lifting him up that easily. So, unless he was a death scale. But then you'd be dead anyways because he'd be poisonous to your touch. So.
Gloves are for.
That's what the gloves are for. We were thinking ahead, kind of.
Seeps. Because it's a type of oil it'll seep through. But You get him up, and as you let go of him, you can notice that basically from areas that you touched, small areas where you actually touched his skin, like maybe it was just his hand or his side where the hole was and stuff. When you pull your hands away, there's scales attached to your gloves.
He's shedding.
Or he's incredibly sick and he's losing his scales unnaturally.
About how far out of town did we make it?
Not that far. That's what I'm saying. You did not get that far out of town. You can still see the town, basically. He was far enough that if he was calling for help, with the amount of people and stuff that's going on, they wouldn't be able to hear him. But it was essentially, he was almost to the town. It's either something happened to him, in terms of he got attacked by something, or he was already in a bad state and he just collapsed.
We could take him back to town, but if he's carrying a disease, that could infect the town.
Should probably go into town and ask them what they want to do.
Alright, I'll head back to town.
Alright.
Can you watch
We'll
out?
get close, but not go in.
And,
And every 20 minutes or so, I'll give them a little bit more rations.
Alright.
go to the town hall and inform them of the situation.
A couple of the large figures in the enclosed suits look at you and...
There is a man outside the town. He is badly injured, possibly sick. I'm not sure what species he is. He's got scales for skin, but when you touch him, the scales seem to fall off. And he's very weak right now. I don't know if we should bring him in town or if it's better to send someone out to help him.
They look between each other before two of them come around the counter and take us to him, please.
Alright, I will lead them to him.
As he's snacking, I'm just like sitting there and chillaxing with them, trying to make him feel more relaxed and at ease.
Like, he's relaxed at basically, like, he can't really tense up even if he wanted to right now, but it's one of those situations that right now, like, he was in bad enough shape. He's taking what he can get, so even if you were a danger, he's not thinking about that right now. While you're helping him, eventually Jacob comes back with the two enclosed figures, and they come and they circle around him. One leans down and starts basically humming and moving their hands up and over around him. The other one turns and looks at, where did you find him?
Just not far down the path.
You came quite the ways out. Further than they should be.
Who is they?
Tyra, what do you think it was?
The snake peoples. Monty?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's one. So. Back in the game. It's one of the roaming tribes of Wanti. Around this time, generally every 15 years, one of them undergoes the ritual of Aisha.
Uh-oh. Is he a dirty deserter? No. Okay.
No, he'd be considered actually like a high cleric or something. He's undergoing, as a side note, like the ritual of Aisha, the trials of Aisha and stuff, is essentially a type of ritualistic suicide, but it's to emulate one of the draconic gods and stuff. And I'll explain the whole Aisha thing in a bit, because I was already actually planning on doing another thing that I wrote down a whole lot of stuff about, but at least that's a fairly easy
That's something you're familiar with since
Yeah.
it's a favorite race of yours.
Well, it has to do with a lot of my favorite races and stuff, because I like a lot of the reptile races, and it basically has to do with almost every single one of the main reptile races. Except for dragons, actually. It's a dragonic...
My favorite.
Aisha's a dragonic god, but she's one of only 2 of the dragonic gods that is not a dragon. Which makes her neat and makes her weird, because she's one of the 2 oldest ones and stuff. And well, then where'd she come from if the dragons don't believe that there was nothing else but dragons before?
And who the fuck is it?
It's weird, but I'll get into that. They know normally when undergoing the ritual, they stay in their natural habitats, but for whatever reason, he's ventured out further than normal. The only thing that we could think of that might push him to do that is if for some reason he was interrupted during the ritual, he was attacked, or various other things. There could have been, as you said, some sort of sickness that ravaged through, and in some way, despite his commitment to the ritual, he decided to go to try and find help.
He said someone was after him.
Did he say who?
No, just that something about his scales being cold and that someone was after him. They were going to come get him.
He is already close to death. He won't live through the night.
No, you are shitty healers.
Well, it was...
We have to go into shitty healers.
No.
We can bring people back from death.
Well, they can bring him back from death, but it's one of the things, they remove a lot of their organs and stuff to be able to make sure that they finish it. Again, because it's part of the whole myth and stuff in the game, but it's... Okay, so now we go into a side note. In terms of the legend of Aisha and the myth and everything. It started off as before any of the other gods, any of their beings, there were 2 entities for the dragons. There was Io and there was Aisha. Io originally set off and created his children, Bahamut and Tiamat. But Aisha was to be Bahamut's mate afterwards, once he decided to make true pure dragons, but then got turned off from the idea because of Bahamut and Tiamat. It's one of, at this point, Tiamat and Bahamut had their own brood. One of Tiamat's children, named Goroth, who was a green dragon, took a shine to Aisha and basically one point or another cornered her, and he basically forced himself on her.
What jerk.
From that point, Io just wiped him out. But Aisha, because of her domains and stuff, would not allow, basically, she was pregnant, she wouldn't allow for anything to happen to her children. Bahamut, in a rage, attacked Tiamat and they got into a fight, and Io, basically, seeing that, he refused to allow brood from, like a full-blooded brood from any of the 4 main dragon gods to come into being. So he cursed Aisha's children. They would not become dragons. They would become lesser than that. So when Aisha eventually gave birth, she gave birth to 3 children. 2 were male, 1 was female. The 2 males squabbled about themselves, one being far stronger than the other weaker but far smarter than him. While the female looked on in shame at what her siblings were and left shedding the majority of her looks, attempting to become more like the other earthly races. And all three then would eventually go on to sire their own individual races. The two males sired the lizard folk and the kobold, respectively. And the female sired thrown dice everywhere. But, and the female sired the Wanti. The Wanti eventually would go on to build large cities within the depths of forests. The lizard folk would become nomadic and somewhat uncivilized and stuff. Some would eventually learn from their mistakes, but they, for the most part, were wanderers and neutral about it. And then the kobolds, as you know, the kobolds eventually would go on to take on the chaotic sense. They would be localized and stuff, but would war with any individual race and tended to favor the chromatic dragons and stuff. So, as a respect, the two larger siblings, the Wanti and the lizard folk, they every few years would pick a member of their clergy, a cleric or a shaman, and they would undergo rituals similar to what Aisha did after she gave birth to her children, or she eventually committed ritualistic suicide by tearing herself apart, and she would be re-healed after that. And then she would starve herself, and she would be re-healed after that. And in the end, she would allow herself to be devoured by many of the other draconic children. And from there, through that, her body parts and her blood would make the lesser types of dragon kind, such as like the things like the Styx dragon, Tartarian dragon, Fang dragons, stuff like that. But because of her divine blood, because it's part of the ritual, essentially each race will curse the person who's undergoing the ritual to keep them from being healed by an outside source, because it's considered a great, basically a slap to the face of the race if, for some reason, the person who's undergoing the ritual survives. And they'll shun the person. If they were somehow to survive, they'll mark the person. They'll never allow the person to come close to them again. They'll actively try to basically just shame the person in any way they can. The kobolds, on the other hand, the kobolds have just nothing to do with the ritual. The kobolds believe it's just a whole bunch of... Because how could kobolds revere dragons, but how could kobolds come from something like that? Kobolds are better than that. Well, that's what the kobolds think. Kobolds think they're a lot better than that, so... Kobolds just think that it's a red dragon at some point was like, yeah, kobolds are neat. Let's make those.
Neat.
And again, that's why I wish I had my note cards, because I actually just straight up copied the whole thing from one of the books, and it flowed a lot better than me. Well, and then this happened, this, and then, wait, let me go back and explain this, and but that's the reason why they can't really heal him, is because A, it'd be worse than letting him die is to heal him, and then also he's cursed. They can't really heal him that well because of the curse anyways. So the most they're doing is they're easing him out of it, so... But they do not know anything about the people who are after him, or the skin thing that he said. They don't know anything about that.
Are their eyes normally yellow? Or...
Certain types of Wanti, yeah. Like Wanti, like their eyes tend to be anywhere from yellow, green. Some have red eyes. But I mean, yellow's a rarer color, but it's not unheard of for a Wanti to have yellow eyes. Yellow eyes are more common for like lizard folk or kobold, but Wanti can have it too. Just like lizard folk can have this exact same color. They can all have the same color of eyes, but just certain eyes are more common for a race. As the two clothed figures, basically, the one that was telling you, the other one is basically to continue to ease them up. Slowly starts to remove some of the ragged clothes, and once the ragged cloak is off, you can see much more defined. After the cloak's off, you can definitely tell that this is a snake person. Like it's far more clear. You can see that underneath the rags and stuff, it was wearing what appeared to be a priestess's robe.
It was a lady.
You can see it's covered in quite a bit of things of jewelry. There's rings, necklaces, gems. The choker and stuff like that. But one of its hands, once its robes and stuff are off, one of its hands quickly comes and basically grabs at one of the necklaces that it was wearing. Like, frantically, it looks like it's trying to hide it away from everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just describing that, so.
I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder and says, "Rest easy, friend. We will not take it from you."
Like, she doesn't look... When she looks at you, it doesn't look like she's paranoid in the fact of, like, you're going to take it from me. It looks more like she's fearful of you seeing it. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's not like, oh god, don't take it, it's, oh god, don't see it. So. Spot check. Just for you.
Just for me?
Just for you.
Yeah. It's the second one I rolled tonight.
Oh man, there must be pollen or something in your eyes because they're watering up right good.
No! Allergy!
Such a sad moment.
He's so triggered.
What will you do from here? Will you, like, they're going to take her back to the village and basically ease her out of it and stuff. Are you going to continue on, or are you going to go back to the village and wait it out?
I'm gonna stay and observe. Because why the fuck not?
Yeah, I'll stay as well.
Okay.
What a copycat god.
I take off to the moon. Jeez.
What a copycat god.
That wizard's from the moon. Alright. So, the figures lead you both to a secluded room as they lay the priestess out. You can see a couple of different clerics appear, begin chanting and stuff. You can feel not so much a healing energy, but a soothing energy start to flood the room, focused primarily on the priestess. Her breathing calm and stuff. It's even more, and you can see after a couple hours it starts to slowly ebb more and more away. Breathing starts to become a bit more labored.
We're watching someone die.
And the priestess starts to mutter. She starts to mutter. Again, you're able to make out some of the words that she's saying. It's mother, mother, protect the pyramid, save us, the 9 books.
I'm gonna say in Dragonic, passed on gently, child.
She doesn't know where it comes from. She can't see. But you can see, just generally as you say that, her face actually takes on a look of like relief on hearing that. She closes her eyes and she stops breathing.
I helped.
As her body crumbles to dust.
Neat. Is this pendant still there?
All the jewelry is still there. So.
What's it look like?
Which, just the pendant?
The one she was hiding. I mean, that's good. Is there still people in there?
Oh, yeah, no. It's,
I mean...
There's like 8 clerics in there.
Okay.
I mean, the clerics are basically, they're leaving, and there's not really anything else they can do. After a little bit, the clerics are gone and stuff. It's, as far as you know, you two are the only ones in the room. The pendant that she was clutching onto, it looks like the Eye of Wajat, basically.
Really?
The Egyptian eye. There you go. That's the center iris of the eye, though, appears to have some sort of purple gem in it. You don't know what type of gem it is, but
So everybody's out of the room?
yes.
Are you sticking around?
I leave.
I steal.
And you're none the wiser.
All these things in my pocket.
Alright.
It was the difference between me having to make a sleight of hand check. She seemed nice.
I didn't understand a word she said.
That's alright.
That wasn't much help to her.
Nope.
That's for you, Jill. All the jewelry and stuff, when you pick it up and you have it, feels normal. There's nothing really, like, I mean, it's jewelry, like, it's expensive gold and there's gems and stuff in it. But the necklace that you picked up, the one that she was clutching it, the moment that you touch it, stuff, you feel cold.
Neat. I put it in my pocket. FYI, I did never take off my gloves. Ooh.
What will you do now?
Well,
We could try this adventuring thing again.
yeah, I hear that has some positive results.
Well, you didn't take any damage. You left the village and you didn't take any damage, so you're already off to a better start in this adventure than you were on the last one.
I mean, I can't heal anymore today, but yeah.
It's true. It's true.
So, yeah, once Zena seemed to have had more of a connection since there was a bit of a language understanding. So when she's done, I'll just wait out here for her and then we can head off again.
Word.
Alright. She eventually emerges and stuff, looking filled as if she accomplished something.
I helped.
Yep. Soothing words help. Yes, Night. And you growl.
Sherman was pissed about that.
You okay, bud? Just go lie back down. Alright, bud.
Guess we interrupted his nap.
Sure. So you're gonna try and leave now? Or are you gonna...
I mean, how much time has passed?
It went... I mean, it's still technically in the day. Like, it's getting closer to evening at this point and stuff. It took a while, actually.
I mean, if you're wanting to wait till morning to head off.
Probably the wise choice.
Yeah, we'll wait till morning before heading off. Keep those will-wisps away.
What's with you and those?
I never once mentioned that there were will-o-wisps on this road.
Oh, there were lights. They could have been.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you said
You
use the
still think that
lights.
they're will-o-wisps. Okay.
You can keep thinking that.
I mean...
Yeah.
They could be, they could not be. You think go investigate.
Or we could just ignore it. I don't know.
Obviously you didn't ignore it because it's eating away at you still. Alright, so you go to bed.
Why? Why does it do that?
Alright. The day breaks.
Woo. Go sign out.
Round 2.